somebody that I'm a fan of, that I've debated before, but isn't gotten back to me about coming on the channel, unfortunately. Destiny went on Sean Williamson's podcast, and they had a great conversation, which I recommend all you guys go watch. Those of you guys that loosely care about politics, this video is not going to be about politics, but it is going to be about a very simple application point of how you can avoid getting replaced by AI. It's very relevant, okay, for content creators. And so this is an interesting conversation. Now, this conversation is titled, Why, I love this title, Why Are Liberals More Depressed Than Conservatives? Which is, by the way, empirically proven to be true, okay? So Destiny and Chris are having this conversation, and they kind of touch on a couple different things here, specifically AI, content, and audience capture. Audience capture is basically when you make the same type of video and your audience gets a hold of you, and then you just keep making the same video over and over again, even if it may not be aligned with your values. And so here, I think is exactly that they're inadvertently say this, and then I think there's a very good application point of how creators can avoid audience capture, okay?
Obviously, this is a thing that's coming, and you're not going to be able to stop it.
So we're talking about AI. AI is coming, okay?
Because the technology's out there. It's freely available for people to work on and iterate on. I'm not going to pretend to predict what the future's going to look like 10 years from now. 7 years ago, I thought that it was impossible that somebody like Trump could ever be president, so why would I try to predict the future of AI? Yeah.
What about the danger of AI-created content online? We obviously had 2000, when was it? Cambridge Analytica, 2016?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so, yeah, the Facebook stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so Cambridge Analytica, for the people that don't know, was able to create, or was able to deploy very, very targeted ads at super small cohorts of people that the pain points of those people were understood. Mm-hmm. At least the copy and the advert for that had to be created by a real human. Mm-hmm. It would feed back up to the humans, and then you get some shadowy cabal of Vietnamese copywriters to come and like do whatever the meme is that you make, and then you make a joke about Hillary. Now you can do both ways for this. So you can find out which person has which pain point, feed that into an algorithm, and have an individually created piece of content that targets precisely their unique personality to nudge their preferences in one way or another.
That's freaking horrifying, okay? That can be established with AI, that it's not just figuring out the very specific micro niche and serving that niche, whether with content or with a product, right? A pain point. That was Facebook ads because they had all your data. That changed since the iOS update. But the fact that you can do this through AI and then nudge people's opinions on stuff is very spooky.
Surely that's terrifying.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I don't know what I'm not going to be able to give you the answer to that.
Just thinking about the future demise of the internet. I suppose as well, with social media, what humans have been trying to do, and this is what audience capture is at its heart, is they're trying to reverse engineer the desires and preferences of the people that they can reach, then feed red meat to that audience. Mm-hmm. But
you guys catch that? Reverse engineer the desires and the preferences of the people they're trying to reach, and then feed them red meat. The conclusion here is that, well, AI content can do that better than humans can. If we're making outrage corn, if we're making dunking on the libs type of content, and they're bad and they're stupid, right? But I have a solution here for my content creators.
When you have algorithms working in both directions, it completely cuts out the content creator. So I wonder, I don't know, within not very long, Eliezer Yudkowsky reckons that like X% of all content on social media is going to be created by machines. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I don't know. Are we going to be able to compete with that? I'm not sure.
I have no idea, yeah. It's going to get spookier when AI is creating like full-length like movies and songs and stuff too.
So nothing's safe.
Yeah, exactly. So like, what is that? Because we imagine we appreciate things because like it was made by a person, we think. Mm-hmm. That's probably not true though, right? The important thing is just that we think it was made by a person. But if it wasn't, like...
Well, given the fact that we presumed that the domain of creativity and art was something that...
Unique to humans.
Yeah, but actually, no, they can do it better. So for instance, right, like unobjectionably, copywriting, the average copywriter on the internet is probably not as good at copywriting as GPT-4 is. If you were to say, write me an advert for this 2-bedroom apartment in Austin city center, GPT-4 on average will be able to do that better than the average copywriter.
Right.
Scale that all the way up. Then you could... I was just thinking, imagine if in 5 years' time you could type into whatever the new version of ChatGPT is, create me a 10-hour extended version of Avengers Endgame in which this thing happens, and it'll probably be able to render that for you.
Maybe, yeah.
With all of the original characters, with everybody in there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you may not know I make music, but I have a brand new song that just came out. Here's a quick preview.
In a moment, I gotta overcompensate by building tabernacles. Why the world is rubbernecking Eve one in the Adam's apple. Whoa there, why you wanna go there? Time to shut the door cause we letting out all the cold air.
Yo, Double R back, baby. It's not for Rolls Royce. It's for Rap Ruslan. Let's get it.
So hit the link in the description or go to RuslanToTheMoon.com to stream now. I'll see you over there.
Why you wanna go there?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And the technology is all like, it's funny because we keep seeing that graphs of like, this is like technology. It's like this. And it keeps seeing like, well, it's going to slow down eventually. But like, you got to figure like, what, 20 years ago, we didn't really even have cell phones.
Here's an interesting point. So they're talking about content created by AI, right? And obviously AI, this is probably as worse as it's going to get in terms of content created by AI. Now, will it come to the point of people making their own versions of movies like that? I don't know. But here's what I do know. One of the best ways to avoid audience capture, meaning you as a creator become commoditized to do the same dog and pony show over and over, and that becomes your content in your life online. So if we're talking about specific content, like they said earlier, you figure out what the pain points and the frustrations of people are, and then you feed them red meat, and it just becomes a circle, and you know the type of video to make. Here's what I would say. For example, in my niche, if all I did was make celebrity pastors or bad videos, that would be the most direct path for me to grow, for me to make as much money as possible, and for our platforms to explode. Just make the same video over and over. Look at this celebrity pastor and what he did, right? Now, how you avoid audience capture, in my opinion, is sometimes what an AI cannot do is create videos and content that actually challenges your audience. That I know if I make this type of video over and over and over and over again, it will yield views and clicks and likes. However, is that healthy for the end consumer? One, and two, does that truly add value when sometimes it's not as clean cut as you think it is? So if you guys don't notice this, every now and then I intentionally make videos to challenge my audience. I intentionally make videos to disrupt this specific narrative and not just keep giving them red meat over and over and over again, but then we flip it and go, hey, maybe we should try some chicken. AI can't do that. Hey, instead of making the same video over and over again, Mike Todd's bad. Mike Todd's bad. Did you know that Mike Todd is bad? Maybe we switch it up and we interview somebody from Mike Todd's church. Maybe we switch it up and we interview someone that speaks well of Mike Todd. And we mix in some red meat with some broccoli, with some chicken, with some fish. This is the way to avoid, as a creator, yourself getting replaced by AI, is you make stuff that's intentionally disruptive to the very thing that your audience expects. And in my opinion, just my opinion, maybe I'm wrong. I believe you guys appreciate us more when we do things to intentionally disrupt what the predictive narrative is going to be. Intentionally disrupt what people are expecting in the packaging of the video, but then there's a flip to it. It comes off a certain way, but then you click in and you're pleasantly surprised. I think that is how you never allow yourself to be commoditized as a creator. And I refuse to just create for the algorithm. That's my opinion. And I think if you're just creating for the algorithm, if you're just creating and giving people the same video over and over and over and over and over again, you will be commoditized. You will not be someone that people genuinely build rapport and trust with. You will just become another thing that people do when they don't really want to think. I'd rather help and encourage and challenge people and sometimes poke. I think that's good. I think that's healthy. And you guys do that back to me. And I think that's a good relationship, in my opinion. So how do we avoid audience capture? How do we avoid getting replaced by AI? I think we lean into challenging our audiences, believe it or not, which you guys know I love to do. And I love it when you guys say, hey, I don't agree with you on everything, but come on, man. Come on. That's what it should be. You shouldn't ever agree with everything on everyone. Right? Hey, this clip is from our daily after party stream. If you enjoyed it, consider signing up for our Patreon community for only $5 a month, where you get access to the replays of our daily after party streams, as well as the uncut extended versions of our podcast, Discord access that's private, and a discount code for our merch store, only $5 a month. And ultimately, it's the best way to help us contextualize the gospel of Jesus using media, podcasting, and of course, YouTube. The link for that is in the description or in the pinned comment. The perks are amazing. You should get on there. It's only $5 a month. I'll see you over there, all right? Peace.